The chilling truth about cosmic isolation. Close your eyes and picture the sheer scale of the universe. We were taught that our solar system drifts peacefully through an infinite, expanding ocean of stars, a gentle cradle where life was given the space to flourish. It is a comforting illusion of cosmic freedom, built on the assumption that the deep silence between our galaxy and its neighbors is just a harmless, empty canvas. But the chilling truth about our cosmic isolation is that it is not a sanctuary, but a symptom of a much darker, artificial architecture. The reality recently exposed by the James Webb Space Telescope is much colder. We are trapped inside the KBC Void, a staggering 2 billion light-year spherical anomaly where the very mechanics of gravity and thermodynamics have been brutally suppressed. Look far enough, and you will not see an endless horizon, you will find a dense, impassable wall of hypermassive galaxies acting as the bars of a distant cage. We are not drifting in open space, we have been placed in a freezing quarantine that is quietly bleeding the energy out of our sector. Tonight, we open the forensic files of an unprecedented existential threat. Through spectroscopic analysis of the cosmic microwave background, we can see that the very scarcity of matter that supposedly shielded us from early cosmic violence is actually a lethal, inescapable barrier. The massive gravitational borders of our cage are expanding outward, pulling all available resources away from us, meaning the core of this quarantine will eventually succumb to absolute thermal death. There is no rescue coming from the outside, because any external celestial interaction is violently shredded by the gravitational perimeter before it can even penetrate this mechanical suppression zone. If you have the psychological endurance to face the mathematical certainty of our extinction before the truth is permanently erased, leave a like right now to unlock the classified file and step into the dark. Let us examine the architecture of our immediate cosmos. We reside within a structure known to astrophysics as a local underdensity, a vast sector where the standard distribution of mass inexplicably drops. This is the KBC Void, a staggering sphere stretching 2 billion light-years across. It is an area defined not by what it contains, but by the alarming, artificial-like absence of normal galactic matter. Inside this colossal deprivation zone, the fundamental laws of thermodynamics operate under an unnatural restraint. The usual gravitational clustering that gives birth to massive celestial bodies is suffocated, creating a sterile environment where matter is actively pushed away. We are floating inside a cosmic dead zone, a massive vacuum where the standard density required to sustain a vibrant galactic sector has been purposefully dialed down to near zero. However, when you analyze the outer edges of this massive emptiness, a terrifying pattern emerges. The border of this void is composed of an ultradense, impenetrable web of hyperactive superclusters. This boundary acts like a mechanical filter, blocking external kinetic forces and actively preventing new cosmic material from entering our isolated quadrant. We are effectively locked inside a perfectly spherical, inescapable gravitational prison. This deliberate suppression of matter is not a passive phenomenon, it is a highly active cosmological clock counting down in the dark. The sheer gravitational pull of that surrounding galactic wall is exerting a localized tension that our current mathematical models can barely comprehend. The isolation that allowed our solar system to initially form is now the exact mechanism slowly bleeding our sector dry. For decades, the academic establishment sold you a comforting narrative. They claimed our peaceful orbit was a natural product of cosmic evolution, a sign that the universe was a stable, predictable cradle. This illusion of safety is a fundamental miscalculation, intentionally ignoring the brutal truth about our environment. We were never safe, our quiet corner of space is merely a temporary, sterile quarantine. That sterile protection is turning into a death sentence right now. The immense gravitational pull from the hyperactive galaxies forming the bars of our cage is causing a severe density decay at the very edges of our macro system. The void is not expanding harmoniously, it is being violently stretched by an external tension, pulling all available energy outward, leaving us stranded in the dead center. James Webb's deep-field spectroscopic analysis of the fading radiation across our night sky proves this timeline. We are not experiencing a long planetary evolution, we are living through a slow, systemic starvation. Our existence is nothing more than a statistical error with a strict expiration date, slowly freezing inside an abyss. As the external boundary pulls further away, the physical mechanics of our local group will fundamentally shut down. The academic institutions will continue to monitor this systemic failure in absolute silence, leaving you entirely blind to the impending cosmological collapse. If the illusion of your safety is finally fading and you want to access the brutal forensic files of our collective end, hit subscribe right now. We are not a science platform, we are the permanent archive of a rapidly dying universe. When the external galactic wall finally breaches our isolated sector, the massive gravitational shift will not register as a physical impact, but as a catastrophic failure in planetary physics. The lethal, unsuppressed pressure of the wider universe will pierce Earth's protective layers, forcing an immediate and violent thermodynamic equalization. Our localized environment will be rewritten in mere seconds, unable to process the sudden influx of raw cosmic energy. The atmosphere will not burn, it will be mechanically stripped away by the invading gravitational currents, while surface temperatures plummet toward absolute zero in the absence of stable solar radiation. Oxygen will be pulled into the expanding vacuum, creating a sterile dead zone where the very propagation of sound and light becomes distorted by the corrupted gravity. The inherent fragility of our world will be violently exposed by an environment we were never meant to experience. The atomic scaffolding of our biosphere will suffer instantaneous dissociation under the immense stress of an altered planetary pull. We will not be victims of fire or ice, but of a cruel mathematical equation operating on an inescapable macrocosmic scale. This systemic failure happens faster than any human instrument can register the cataclysm. The magnetosphere that protected us for millennia will be erased beneath the crushing force of unfiltered cosmic radiation. As the Earth rapidly shuts down, the entire solar system around us will begin to dissolve, revealing the true weight of the implacable mechanics governing this quarantine's end. No planetary infrastructure will be able to withstand the new gravitational tension imposed by the collapsing cosmic borders. The orbits of our celestial neighbors will fracture simultaneously under the weight of this hyperactive force, dragging entire planets off their axes before any theoretical escape protocol could even be formulated. The Earth itself will permanently lose its structural integrity, as extreme tidal forces turn deep oceans and continents into shattered subatomic dust within minutes. Escaping this anomaly is a mathematical impossibility calculated by modern astrophysics. The approaching wave of hyperdense matter and radiation covers vast interplanetary distances in fractions of a second, distorting the local spacetime grid. The energy required to outrun the collapse of this spherical prison vastly exceeds the combined capacity of our entire species, rendering any desperate attempt at survival entirely futile. While our civilization remains blindly obsessed with trivial conflicts and temporary progress, the wider cosmos operates with a clinical, lethal indifference. The comforting illusion that we are a protected species will be violently crushed by the gears of a mechanical system that never even acknowledged our existence. Humanity will be obliterated not by a conscious enemy, but by the automated purging of a dead sector. Our collective ignorance will not pause the impending collapse of this isolated solar system. If you comprehend the forensic reality of this existential threat and want to expose the truth, share this classified file with someone who still looks at the sky and feels safe in their ignorance. Let them feel the crushing weight of the cosmic deadline before the silent dark consumes everything. The mechanical rupture will not be a prolonged event, but an instantaneous fracture in the spacetime grid surrounding our solar system. The boundary of the void will suddenly give way, unleashing the suppressed gravitational tension of the wider universe. This lethal wave will crush our planetary orbits in milliseconds, transforming our sector into an irreversible annihilation zone. When these external forces collide with Earth, they will not trigger mere earthquakes, but absolute subatomic dissociation. The collapse will force our planet to undergo extreme gravitational shear, tearing the crust apart through irresistible tidal forces. Our fragile biosphere will be obliterated by plummeting temperatures and piercing cosmic radiation, recycling our world into sterile dust. The thermodynamics of this event operate with implacable mathematical precision. There are no evacuation routes when the local spacetime enters accelerated orbital decay. The cosmos will process our erasure with the cold precision of a giant machine, discarding an irrelevant operational error into the dark. The cosmological clock is not just running out, it has been physically broken. The scarcity that once protected us is now the event horizon of our ruin. When the final magnetic defense collapses, the stellar machinery will execute its crushing compression. The end of our quarantine does not bring freedom, but a summary execution. The greatest illusion we ever fed is the belief that the universe cares about our existence. There is no rescue plan, no force waiting to halt this impending threat. The cosmos operates through a silent existential void, where the thermal extinction of a planet is nothing more than a cold, calculated mechanical transaction without emotional significance. All the matter of our history and architecture will be violently pulverized and reabsorbed into the stellar abyss. The coming cataclysm will disintegrate every monument, converting our achievements into invisible radiation swept away by the vacuum. We will be erased from the record, returning to the sterile dust from which we accidentally emerged. Human arrogance made us believe we would master the stars, but astrophysics reveals our total irrelevance. We are temporary anomalies orbiting a collapsing sector, defenseless against the stellar machinery advancing to crush our system. The true existential horror is the certainty that the universe will not even notice our complete obliteration. Facing this oppressive mathematical frontier, what is your forensic conclusion? Go to the comments and type miracle if you blindly believe we were designed to survive this, or mistake if you accept we are just a cosmic error awaiting correction. Leave your mark before the screen goes dark.